the one.
Welcome back to the Double Dose. I'm your host, Dipesh.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And we're here to take you from Earth to the end of a 14-hour-long movie.
That was good. This guy won't touch a poop.
Dude. Why am I the weird one?
I almost forgot to bring it up. But
why am I the weird one that doesn't want to touch a poop?
Yeah, that's it. So I said, well, what instance would you be able to touch it? Like, when is it okay?
Never.
Well, could you do it?
And my questions to you were, am I able to wash my hands immediately after? And also, are we talking tap or finger in the poop?
Let's say you're cleaning your dog's mess.
Okay.
And a little bit gets on your hands.
A nice turd or a bit of a mess?
It's a little bit of a mess. It's soft.
That's my bad.
It's not a rocky, hard one. Okay. And it's definitely smearable. And a little bit gets on the back of your hand. Or in between your fingers. Just a little bit.
Wait. Why am I grabbing it like this? Why am I just going?
It's just coming a little bit.
I have to just grab it full-handed, like I'm picking up a remote.
Yeah, but okay, let's say you don't get it all the way and you go to catch it at the last second and it falls in your hand a little bit.
Is this...
Are you immediately grossed out?
Are you telling me, like, in this scenario, you're daring me to catch my dog's shit?
Yeah.
Because I'm like thinking, like, when would I'm at the only scenario where I think I have to do that. I'm like, I bring my dogs to a friend's house and he's like, not on my new rug, and I have to dive to catch his shit.
Yeah, you're just double-handed.
No!
It's like slow-mo.
Yeah. Look, if that's the scenario, then I don't want to ruin my friend's rug. But if you're just like, I dare you to hold your hand under your dog's ass as he takes a dump.
Could you do that?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
I feel like I could. I could do it. It's not like I genuinely want to or something, but I definitely could do it.
What's the
stakes?
stakes?
It'd be no problem. No stakes.
I
just have the mentality that if I had to, I could definitely do it. Like, it doesn't gross me out that much.
Like, yeah, if I had to.
If it's on my face or something, then it's pretty gross, but not on my hands or something.
Like if I had to touch it.
What about if you're like, you have to barefoot it and mash it between your feet like it's a wine pressing. It's just poo like that.
The smell. That reminds me, guys, one time Daniel was coming back to my partner's house and I was showing him something in the garden and I confidently just took a step and I'm like, oh, that's either sand or poo.
I remember that.
Poo.
And I just kept saying, I hope it's sand.
Yeah. And I was, it was like, you know what it felt like? It's like when you watch those movies and someone steps on a trip mine and then everyone just pauses and they're like, don't move. And it was just frozen still and I didn't want to look. You
slipped on it too. Is that awkward, like banana peel slip for a second?
A little bit.
And you were in your new shoes. You just wore them that day.
Yeah. And, I wanted to throw my foot out, but Daniel was, he was a trooper and he's like, look, I'm going to clean it for you, dude. He hosed that thing down. It took me a little while to get over the fact that there had been poo on there, but we made it through.
Yeah, we did it.
We made it through.
And I feel like I just took charge in that. And I was like, give me the shoe right now because I could see your stress was just overwhelming you.
I was paused. I was on pause.
And you were just completely frozen.
I was on a trip mine, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, if I move, I'm going to die.
And I just said, give me the shoe, get the hose. I did this like last week, so I'm going to fix it up. And I did. I took care of my boy.
Yeah. And guys, this is a late night session for us. We're coming in live from the late night demo tapes.
Late night demo. Real straight hours.
Yeah.
Real late hours. Sorry.
Real weird wacky hours. So smash that motherfucking subscribe button if you're up real wacky hours. So it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little cool. Brisky. Daniel's got his health and we're kicking it.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing the topic I wanted to talk to you about today. So I randomly stumbled upon this myself. And I saw a news article about it. I don't have Instagram myself that I use currently, but I thought it was interesting. It was an Instagram account completely looked to be as if it was a young teenage girl, but the account was a robot. So it was a total CGI robot and rendered by a team of people that look like it's meant to represent a teenage girl. So I'll bring it up here for you if you have a look at it. The account's called Little Michaela.
Okay.
So this right here, Little Michaela, was something I came across. 3 million followers, by the way.
Right.
3 million followers. And if you were to look at this, would you immediately be able to tell it's a robot?
Forgive me, guys.
Sorry, it's a render.
Forgive me, guys, if I take a little while here. I forgot my glasses today, so
get in real close if it's better further away.
I'm going to come in real close over here.
Yeah, have a look. When you look at this, what do you think? Does that look realistic to you, or does that look?
It looks like a teenager that's really self-conscious and heavily edits their own photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks plausible, but like it looks like someone airbrushed the shit out of themselves.
Some of them looked better than others, but
that's a
some
pretty
of them
selective pose there.
So when I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure the body is real. The body is real on this person, but they're sticking a fake face on that person because the face looks extremely airbrushed.
It's very airbrushed. And like, do we know for certain that this person isn't just airbrushing themselves?
100%. Okay. They've confirmed that it's a.
What's up with some of these poses over here, man? I'm gonna get concerned.
Yeah, they're a bit cheeky. Some of them are a bit cheeky.
But what type of
some of them look extremely
fake.
Here? Some of them look like the lighting just does not look real. But what's interesting, what I found with this account is that, what was it? What is the number? 42% of people think she's real. That it's a real account.
Is this people without the facts? Like just if they're just
they're just scrolling past. But her followers, 42% of her followers think she's real, like a real person, like a real girl.
You know what?
So, let me describe it. It's just all the poses are very generic, things that you expect a 19-year-old girl to be doing. Posing with her boyfriend, opening a box of shoes, out town eating, picture of her food, selfie, getting dressed or whatever, something like that. It's very normal stuff. Party,
filters, etc. My question for those 42% would be, it's more so like, I know that people I follow, the reason I know they're real is because I have a vested interest in who I'm following, right? I don't just follow for aimlessly. Do you think the demographic is of people that just like do the whole follow for follow stuff, so they don't really care about who they're following, and her photo pops up once in a month and they're just like, that's just KK, whatever her name is.
Yeah, so they seemed. What's weird to me is that most of the responses on her comments are really thirsty.
We love you.
Guys.
Come to Brazil.
Yeah, come to wherever. Come to this. Oh, when are you coming to New York? I want to meet up with you.
Could that be bots as well themselves?
I don't know.
Instagram's full of that.
There's heaps of it like that. Heaps of them go, what filter is that you're using on your face?
They could be kids.
Yeah, but so heaps of them think they're realistic.
Wow.
Heaps of them think that she's a real person, right? Anyway, so I did my own research into this Little Michaela to see what it was all about. And so I found out it was made by two guys so I don't know if it's two guys. It was two people that made it and specialize in kind of advertising or something like that.
Right.
They run a bunch of different accounts that are all CGI robots, let's say. It even says that in the profile at the top. It says...
I'm a replicant.
It's gone. Damn it.
I'm a replicant.
Yeah, so here we go. 19-year-old robot living in LA. That's what it says.
That is something a young adult would say, though,
Yeah. So I had a look into it, and with 3 million followers, she's already considered a fashion icon. She's done endorsements and street branding with already Calvin Klein and Prada. That's just like two of the ones that I found. Her net worth, $125 million.
Is this the next stage for
this
influencers?
This is what I was crazy. So I looked into this more. I was shocked when I saw this. I said,
That's
125 million. This person doesn't even exist.
Imagine like even being a person like you or me following that account. What am I getting out of it? Because I know Instagram's. I mean, just recently, Instagram just changed like yesterday to compete with TikTok. So they did the whole 16:9 ratio full screen update.
Okay.
So it's now going to be...
You mean 9:16?
9:16, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
video editor.
Yep.
The reason they're pulling away from static imagery and going towards TikTok because you got to compete, and a lot of people are upset about that. Me, for one, I don't care for videos on Instagram. I want to see photos. That's why I'm on it. TikTok's there for a reason. But anyway, I would ask myself, why am I following this person? It's so strange that 3 million people, say half of those people are legitimate people. Is she causing? Is she a celebrity? Is she does she have gossip? Does she have a life that people are interested in?
So it seems to be that there's some sort of life that she tends to be following, which is, I have a boyfriend, I have relationships. There's random people in comments at each one. Is that your boyfriend? What happened to the last guy? Really following the story as if it's a real person to kind of interact with.
I mean, look, I guess that demographic that follows that account are the same people that watch reality TV thinking it's reality, right?
Yeah.
It's just scripted reality.
Yeah. I guess. I'm just really
it's like watching Kardashians and
this.
thinking that that's actually their life.
Yeah.
It's just it's fabricated. So you're watching a fabricated life. It's just not a TV show. It's just an Instagram feed.
Yeah. So I kept looking into this and was extremely concerned. So I looked up. So if she has a sponsored endorsement, approximately she would get $8,000 per product placement. All she has to say is, this character would be, this is the product I'm wearing today. Love this brand, blah, 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 right? So in 2020,
destroy all humans.
2020, she became the first digital avatar to sign with a talent agency with a contract as an actual person that gets managed.
Do you think her name's on the contract or her owners?
It's her. No, it's her.
How does that work?
So that's what I said. It was the first. So she signed with CAA and she was becoming the first virtual client ever.
I don't think that's a smart business decision.
I don't know. So they're called a creative arts agency. They're one of the most influential agencies in the world. And so she's being managed as if she's a real client with them. Whether it's, you're Chris Hemsworth or whatever, and you're a really successful model or whatever you're doing. Yeah. You're being managed. Her as a digital character is being managed as if she's a real person.
Bizarre. That is really bizarre.
So one thing I just thought immediately off the top of my head, man, and what I found was in the earnings, their company was not affected by COVID at all because she doesn't exist. You put her shots anywhere.
Yeah.
You put her pictures anywhere. You can find a photo online and just take it. Oh my God,
just had the best burger at Burger King. You guys got to try the new blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So,
wow.
Last year, she made the people she works for, or whoever owns a company, $10 million just in the last year.
She's like the perfect influencer, right?
Yeah. And you always stay the same age. Your hair can be whatever you want.
You can manipulate.
You don't need to fly to go to do a sponsored shoot or anything.
If the demographic starts swaying in one way, you can make her manipulate her to fit the demographic.
Totally.
Yeah. Wow. That's
very
really
interesting, I thought, right?
That is very interesting. I personally could not give a shit about following something like that, though.
Yeah, me too.
It baffles me that many people care.
Yeah. One second.
Scary.
Sorry, one sec. Just want to test something.
Sorry, guys. Just one moment real quick.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I just thought this is so scary when you think about the potential of, it doesn't even have to be a real person. It could just be anything that's representing that person, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of freaky.
It is very freaky. I think what's also just equally freaky for me is people having an interest in following something like that.
Totally.
I mean, fair enough, but benefit of the doubt, the people that believe she's a real person, because people, like to follow that sort of stuff. But if you were aware she's fabricated, other than just being in awe that this is happening, why would you follow this person?
Totally.
So interesting.
What does this mean for the future of one, modeling, fashion, people? So I kept delving into this more because I was so interested in it. And I came across this other one, which was called Shoodogram. And this one is a very hyper-realistic kind of model that someone came up with on the back of Black Lives Matter to essentially be a Black Lives model and a black model that's an ambassador and women power and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So this is the one I kept seeing. And at first, when you look at it, you think it could be a real person. So this looks very realistic. Look at the skin.
No, you know what? I can tell that's modeled.
You can tell it's
Because
modeled?
even like the other girl, she looks real but just heavily airbrushed. This looks like a 3D model.
Yeah. So some of them...
It's the rendering of the skin doesn't look realistic.
Some of them look okay.
She looks... the texture, whoever's modeled that, it looks like she's got plastic skin.
A little bit. Yeah, it's not 100% realistic. She has elongated features as well. Very tall neck and stuff.
I also keep in mind, guys, I don't have my glasses, so I could be way off.
I didn't think it was bad, but it's definitely not perfect.
No.
Though, if I was scrolling on a quick glance, I could be fooled, to be honest, especially this photo. I thought maybe that's a good shoot, you know, and they've airbrushed them.
And
for sure.
that's what would happen in a very high production shoot like that. It would turn out like that.
Yep.
Interesting.
So I kept diving deeper, son. This wasn't it.
Damn.
I kept going, and I thought, my God, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Then I just kept thinking, what else can be done? Like, so where else can you go with this? Like, so you bring up these issues of, you know, they're essentially attached to the idea of a person rather than a real person. One, people were complaining that this person was stealing jobs away from actual models because if you can just render a model and be done with it, right? The guy who made this was a photographer and did it to get it off the back of Black Lives Matter to see if he could trend, and it blew up. Then I found this Japanese singing pop star, mega pop star they're called Hatsune Miku. All right, released in 2007, doesn't sing at all. It's a total vocal engine called Vocaloid software voice. It was developed by Krypton Future Media, and this person has live concerts, and they're a hologram. It's an anime character,
and people. Are they like it's a hologram live? Like
it's a hologram live,
like it was like Tupac at Coachella.
Yeah, it's all like that. So, where is it? Here we go.
Oh, at least she looks anime.
Yeah, it looks anime, but people go in person and screaming their heads off when they go see her live.
That is like when you thought mainstream music couldn't get any worse and fabricated. That is so bad.
It's insane. It's a very high intensity
it's like
dance
take
kind
the
of
algorithm of what people like in pop songs and just
go ham. So she's been featured in over 100,000 songs because she's a vocal engine. There's no real, so they voiced it. It kind of sounds like, you know, Animal Crossing where it's That's kind of like what she sounds like. Wow. So
Dude,
you think about that, how many songs you could pump out.
DJ Khaled been real quiet since he just dropped that information. He'd been real quiet since he just dropped that information.
Yeah.
He's like, with the second burst.
With a second
burst, fuck.
So I just thought, this is bananas. And it just kept going deeper.
Oh my God.
No, she was on, this anime character was on David Letterman as the character. And they have a band that seems to play with them live, but David Letterman was just laughing at it, right? So net worth also 120 million, estimated 120 million, featured 100,000 songs. Some dude as well, when I was researching this, married this character in real life. It was a fictosexual relationship.
That's not the first time, right? Didn't some dude in like 2000 I remember in like YouTube's prime, someone married their Nintendo because it was a character in the Nintendo DS. Because there was a character on their Nintendo DS. It was like a Japanese guy. And he was obsessed with her. So he married the Nintendo DS.
That's intense.
Yeah. That's because of that, he ran so she could walk.
That's hilarious. Anyway, this is the guy. And he was devastated recently because in the last couple months.
It should have been me.
He had a hologram set up in his house. By the way,
how much would that have cost?
He had a hologram. No, it's a tiny little box, but the software got discontinued, so he can't talk to her anymore.
No upgrades.
So he said it's very hard for him to connect with his partner. Look, there it is. That's that little...
Hard to connect with his partner. He doesn't have the adapter when they go overseas.
Yeah. He spent $18,000 on the wedding, man.
God,
there's some footage of it here.
Is that a doll version of her?
He brings around a doll most places, I think. I hope this even runs.
I just feel sad for
I
him.
forget it. Yeah, none of his parents came. And he said he did it to show that he's,
Did he pay for all those guests to be there?
encourage people to come out who are fictosexual. It's called. So he comes and greets her every day, and he has dinner with her and stuff. It's pretty full on. Look, there's another picture of her, and
Blade Runner.
I just love the face here. I accept my doom. This is my life.
He's so serious about that.
He's dead serious. Look at that man right there.
That's the face of someone that is angry that someone's taking a photo of his wife.
Yep.
Without his permission.
So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I kind of didn't go any further than that because I was getting scared.
I'm glad you didn't, because that would have freaked me. That would have freaked me out. I would have just been like I said. I'm just scared that people are into that already.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a futuristic concept. That's AI territory.
Yeah, and so people are just becoming addicted to the sense of the idea. You know, when you're going to pay money to a concert to see a hologram, I don't know. There's no real person there. There's no real substance. I guess you get in the energy of the place, but it's not a real person singing. It's not a real person who's there. They're being projected. You know, it's pretty scary.
It's like a fine line when you have like a major pop star doing a concert and they're just miming their whole backing track, and it's like you just take out the physical person. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
They're
but
just
at least
playing
you're
their music.
seeing the person and their
yeah.
energy. You know.
Yeah.
Not just, okay, well, it's totally make-believe. And especially following an Instagram account that's totally made
Oh,
up.
guys, we'll be right back. I just want to recharge.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting, dude. And that reminds me of that doesn't remind me, but that has something to do with something I wanted to talk to you about, which is has to do with AI.
Yeah,
and,
go.
So this is a thought experiment that I found, and before I get into it, I do need to give a warning, an info hazard warning, if you will. This, if you do have a tough time with existentialism and dread, please skip this part. It is a pretty bleak concept, and once you hear about it, you're in it, and there's no way out of it. So you've been warned. So
Go for it.
this is called Roko's Basilisk. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to read off my notes here because it's a bit of a deep one.
Okay.
Okay, so
Hit me, boy.
this is a hypothetical thought experiment for when human existence reaches the point of the singularity.
Okay. I've thought about this a lot. Go
Right.
ahead.
So for those of you listening that don't know, the singularity is a hypothesized future where computing power gets to such great feats that it's like a superhuman artificial intelligence, and it becomes it has the capability to simulate human minds and upload its mind to other computers, and it's able to simulate life itself. It's just so advanced.
It's essentially like being so adept that it's able to kind
more
of...
than human.
It's
almost.
more than human, and it can process so fast it essentially invents everything at once.
Yes.
In an instant, and everything gets invented that can possibly be made.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. So in this hypothetical future, this AI is I guess it's brought into existence, and it's able, and if it gets to a point where it's able to understand human qualities like fear and self-preservation like we do, then it might have an interest in the people who were in fear of its creation.
Okay.
Okay. And even if it doesn't have proof that you were in fear of it, it probably has the capability to take what you are as a person, or anything that represents you as a person, and simulate your life to even figure out if you were to fear it or were to have feared it at one point in your life.
Okay.
Okay. So the basic thought experiment is that if this AI was able to find out that you didn't want its existence, then it could have the power to essentially stop your existence by putting you into a hell trapped in your own mind. It could kind of like could put you into like a matrix essentially, but that's like just an eternal hell.
Yes.
And you're just trapped in there, and it could be just torture forever because it knows that you did not want its existence.
Okay.
And then on top of that, if you then create it out of fear, then you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy in which the fear of something happening, you've made it happen. So then, taking that one step further, because of its intelligence, it's able to find out that it was created due to fear, and then you are now viewed as being in fear of it. So then you are still at its mercy.
Oh, say it again.
So, if it finds out that you fear it,
yeah,
it could pretty much put you in
some sort of mental prison.
Mental prison, right? Mm-hmm. But then, because of this knowledge of what it has the potential of doing, you create it to essentially support it. Then you've created it out of fear.
Yes.
And then, if it runs its simulation and finds out that you created it out of fear, then you are essentially fearing itself, and it still has the potential to lock you up.
Yeah. But that's only okay. Yeah. I get what you mean.
So you're essentially trapped. So now, just the understanding of this theory, you're essentially in a position right now that if you don't do anything right now to support its creation in this hypothetical future that it's possible, then you are going to be put into this hellscape.
Okay.
And if you don't do anything right now, then you are not contributing to it, therefore a threat to its existence, therefore potentially going to be put into this hellscape.
Yeah, but that's to say if we're locked inside this mental prison to begin with.
Well, it's when the AI is created. And
yeah, when it's surpassed us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big fear that I kind of have is what will happen when AI... Because the minute it's invented, about 2 seconds later, you get singularity.
It would be instant.
It's almost instantaneous.
Yeah, I can imagine it just be like, oh, I am me. This is me. I understand everything. This is me.
So what was so scary about it for you?
I'm okay with it because I don't see it happening in my lifetime, I guess, you know?
Are you serious? You think there won't be the AI as smart as us in our lifetime?
I don't think...
I think it'll be towards the end of our lifetime for sure.
If it is, it's right at the end of life.
Expert scientists say by 2040, 100%.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you got to support it.
Okay.
You got to support Roko's Basilisk.
I think that's a crazy thought experiment, and it's pretty cool. But the thing is though, the AI can't encapsulate the reality you're already in.
I believe it's like it'd be in a position where
it can.
Yeah.
It can just do something like that.
I think it'd be in a position where you would be reliant on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This thought experiment was so bad that I think the person that submitted it was named Roko, or the username was Roko. It was on a philosophy board, and the admin ripped it down and deleted it, and was just like, "This is stupid." This is, and it's because several people complained about it because they were having they were essentially breaking down with just knowing that this fact, because some people can't handle this idea. Now that they have the knowledge of this, it's a big fear for some people.
Mm-hmm. I understand that, and I hear it. I have it on a different level with the existentialism. Like I kind of went through some mental health stuff, and I'll bring it up here, I guess.
And if you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. So I suffered from derealization. I do still suffer from derealization, which is a very intense feeling that you're disconnected from your own sense of reality, and a big part of that was coming to terms with why do we exist, why are we here, it all feels dream world, it all feels very uncomfortable, and why do we do anything we want to do, and what's the point of life? There's a lot of unanswerable questions of, why are we here? Are we in a simulation?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research into other people who mentioned the same thing, kind of, as well as a lot of other people coming to the terms of they felt like they were in a sense of, they kept saying, I saw a lot of people say that they had the sense of feeling that they were in a dream world, or they became very obsessed with, what's the word? Simulation theory.
Yeah.
They became very obsessed with simulation theory and didn't know why.
Especially right now, from the beginning of COVID till now.
Yeah, mass trauma.
Everyone's just kind of feeling like, what is going on?
Yeah, and it's the sense of impending doom when you can't escape it. So a lot of people said ever since COVID happened that they felt like they were in a dream world, became very obsessed with simulation, and were posting about it. And a lot of people came out and said, I think you're suffering from dissociation. It's a trauma mental coping mechanism.
Right.
And that kind of sense maybe triggered that, and he didn't know what was going on in this instance, but I think he was very scared to hear what was going on, especially if you're like, I don't know what's happening, or it's not bothering you too much, but you have to be okay with the unknown with this type of stuff. And I think a lot of people who do fear it don't have a problem with control.
Well, I think it's more so that even if you choose to believe it and not do anything about it, you're still on a bad path because you haven't supported it.
Yeah, but this is if it's one, we're in a simulation now to any degree, which a lot of people could argue, we're not in base reality, whatever, but we're in the instance that we are now. It's like if you play The Sims don't know that they're Sims.
Yeah. Yep.
So you could kind of argue that you got to just do the best with what you're given and not think about it too much.
Yeah. Deal with it when you're there. And you know what? This could be the hellscape. Did it scare you? So for instance, that would have scared me probably about a year ago in my mental health journey. I would have been terrified to think about that. But now it's more that, it's a freaky thought, but I have to be okay with what's going on now. I think I would start freaking out when I start hearing signs of AI getting to that point. But for me right now, I just don't see anything being close to that. So I'm like, whatever.
But I don't understand how they would have the potential to... So you think they'd be able to invent something that immediately traps your mind in some sort of alternate state of reality?
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Upgrade?
No.
Okay. Damn it. So, okay, you won't ruin it, but... So, this
is it a movie I should see?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, maybe...
So it's nothing like that, don't worry. It's along that path. I didn't ruin anything for you. So what I was going to say was that you have to think that the technology is somehow this AI, this thing can immediately invent something that encaptures the whole human race, kind of like The Matrix.
Yeah.
I think that's what The Matrix scared so many people when it came out. That kind of trippy, late 90s sci-fi that was, oh my God, all of like reality bending, kind of mind bending shit with action.
The Matrix has aged well though, man.
It did.
It's so relevant right now. You can watch it and just be like, holy crap. The more you think about it, you could just go into a rabbit hole in your own mind. It's so deep.
Totally.
It's amazing.
And it was pretty freaky for me as a kid when I watched it. Like it was kind of scary. Like that kind of thought. That was the first time I kind of had that existential thinking.
I don't think I really could fathom it when I was young. I kind of was just like, I like when they shoot. I like when they do, I like when they shoot the bullets.
The altered reality thing scared me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not that I could fully grasp it about being out of the reality that I was, but the whole waking up and then you're in some sort of nightmarish situation, that was kind of freaky.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of these theories for the Matrix movie, but I heard a really cool hot take that I've never even really considered before, and it was this really really cool thought that humans got to a point where they wanted like a Wall-E situation. We wanted comfort. We wanted to live in harmony.
Yep.
Our Earth was kind of shit, so we created these robots to keep us alive, and we all plugged ourselves in voluntarily into the Matrix so we could enjoy life while these robots were in charge of rebuilding the Earth. And the agents were in place to stop Morpheus from because essentially he's a tyrant and he's a terrorist, and he's like, I refuse to be a part of this fucking ideology that we live in this. I mean, I live in the real world. I don't want to be a part of this artificial life. And he's essentially taking people out of there that voluntarily, he's trying to bring it all down. And the agents are actually put in place to destroy this terrorist cell, which is Morpheus. And I'm like, man, that's an interesting take.
So it's flipping the story.
It's flipping the story, but like also I mean, the people that are in the Matrix aren't aware.
Yeah.
It might be generations and generations down the track, but it was always a choice from the get-go. And it'd be interesting if that was the actual thing. And Morpheus is like, you know, just that person that's just old school. He's like, no, I'm so against that idea. And everyone's like, no, I know it's nice in here and it's cushiony, and I don't want to live in this wasteland of an earth that's just fucking storms and shit and eroded earth. I want to be happy, and I want to eat steak that's perfect cut and not eat oatmeal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the flip on that.
It's an interesting flip.
And I like that kind of, you know, the twist on the story and the kind of the fan theories and stuff like that. I love that shit.
There was another interesting thing I saw recently, which is it obviously just has to do with location of shooting, but in Attack of the Clones, the character that plays Mouse in Matrix, he's like, you want to buy any death sticks? He does that to Obi-Wan in this bar scene.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where they're walking in the bar and a lady just happens to like give, I think it's Obi-Wan. It's Obi-Wan. She gives him like a little bit of a seductive look, and it's the lady in red, the actress that plays Lady in Red in Matrix. And it's just like, is all of Star Wars set in another alternate Matrix?
Or they're just desperate for actors.
Just Australian shooting.
I got a mate.
Australian
she worked
actors.
on this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. It also gave me the thought, which I wanted to bring up as well, is that Alan Watts said it and came up with it. I think he originally quoted and came up with the quote, but it was more to do with that, you know, the reality stuff you're talking about was that, you know, people say, well, you know, what if you'll go to sleep one day and you'll never wake up, and that's essentially death, right? He kept saying people fear that, but he said the real question should be, what if you wake up but you never had gone to sleep and you've already done it? Was that when we were born?
You didn't say that one again.
So people say, well, what's the fear? The people say they fear that one day they're going to go to sleep and never wake up. Right. So you would just dream forever. But he said the real thing that actually happens is one day you'll wake up without ever having gone to sleep. You'll just wake up from whatever this reality is into the next.
Right.
And he said, think about it. You would have done it when you were born, but you just don't remember it.
And I think that's a hard thing.
Because you woke up one day and you weren't even asleep. You just woke up and existed.
Well, I guess the reason one's fear and one's not is because one's you can't say for certain. The other one is 100% certain. Like there's going to be that day that it could happen. You just pass away in your sleep.
Yeah, but he said, but why think about it as like something you will never wake up from?
I guess it's just
he said, what if there's a better reality waiting along the other side?
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. But he said it has to be because that's already happened. It's what we already did when we were born. It already happened.
Yeah.
We weren't asleep and then woke up. That's not what happens. You wake up without ever being asleep.
Mm-mm. That's another thing. I remember being very late into my life. I remember hearing this since I was in primary school. Like, what if you just woke up?
You just woke up.
And you all your memories are just from when you woke up. Like this is the first day of our life right now. And there's no way to prove that everything that happened before wasn't just a big memory dump.
Yeah, of course.
I never really understood that until as an adult.
Did that scare you?
No.
Existentialism seems to freak you out a lot.
No, but I'm okay with that.
Oh, you're okay?
It's just like I feel it feels way more real that I've lived this life rather than it's just been bumped into me. I've just woken up and I'm just like, there's no proof that everything happened before. Well, I just woke up this morning.
Yeah, but that's what's happened. That's what you know is reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just have to go, well, I'm okay with what's happening right now and what I'm experiencing right now, right?
It just feels
more real. It's like the ultimate
real.
Enlightenment, right?
It feels more real that I feel like those are my memories rather than not being 100% sure that if they're my memories or not.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. You just have to accept that.
Yeah.
It's where we are, right? It's what being human is. It's wonderful.
That's it, mate.
That's it, mate.
That's it, mate.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I got another one I wanted to talk to you about.
Go for it.
Okay, my mate told me about this.
Yeah.
This was pretty freaky. So it was about this
late night episode.
Late night episode.
Spooky state.
He was telling me about this. So as a friend of mine told me, he said he heard this news article and sent it to me, and I read it and it was horrifying. Is that these people had a eye implant put into their brain, like into their body, right? An eye implant, and it was able to restore sight for them. So they were able to see more, and you have to have some sort of special surgery and be connected to these special glasses. But essentially, I think it's for people with cataracts who have lost the vision in their eye. They're able to see. It's pretty cool.
Is this the technology where it's like a black and white computer generated map of what the human eye sees?
I think I really don't know how the technology looks, but that wasn't really the point of it.
Okay.
The point was that, man, the company that installed this software went bankrupt. So if anything went wrong with this stuff that is in their head, they have a dead product in their head. So some people were experiencing technical glitches and the company was bankrupt. So we're like, sorry, we're not fixing it. So they have a dead product in their body.
Imagine, dude, the product malfunctions and they start to be able to see a reality that we can't understand.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm seeing it. And you're like, yeah, right. It's just bugging out. And you're like, dude, I am seeing the elves. Like,
yeah.
Like they can see shit. And only the people that have the discontinued version can see it. And the company's bankrupt. The files are missing. And no one can recreate this technology. And they're just seeing this realm. They're just...
My wizard eyes.
They're just lifting the veil and they can see shit that we can't see. That'd be freaky.
Yeah. That'd be cool. But in this instance, it was they were, so for one person mentioned they were walking down the stairs and they heard beep, 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 and the vision went black.
Oh,
so it just dies.
dude.
It dies in their head, and the company just says, sorry, we're not fixing it. We're bankrupt. We don't have time to invest in this shit. 350 people this happened to.
Oh my God.
So I looked into the company. They just stopped supporting the technology when it came to bankruptcy, and every patient has to fend for themselves. That means if something goes wrong, likely to go permanently blind with no solution.
That's horrible.
That's horrible, right? This company says it's a grim situation, a company with cutting-edge technology to better the lives of blind patients who can also worsen their lives and lead them in the dust because of its bottom line.
Why wouldn't they have gotten funding, though?
The company still exists, but they said that portion of the company, we're not looking after it. I said, is this going to be the norm? You're going to just be walking, you're going to have robot legs and you're going to be crossing a train track and they're just going to die on you. Your legs are going to become cemented on the train track and you're going to be killed?
I think that's so possible because, like, say the shit that we own right now, your phone will glitch, TV won't work sometimes. That just shows the technology that we have isn't 100%.
Yeah, but
accurate.
imagine, okay. Then,
but we're constantly bringing out emerging technologies.
Yeah.
They're just never 100% perfect.
Yeah.
That just, it's so classic of a tech company just to release something.
Got to make our bottom line.
We had set the deadline. We have to meet it. If it's not ready, it's not ready. We have to release it. Oh, we've lost funding. Oh, well.
Yeah, I was
we don't
horrible.
make that part anymore.
So you have a dead product in your head.
That's terrifying.
That is some scary shit.
Really,
and I
really
thought
scary.
maybe that's going to be the future.
If I had
people
known
just
that,
getting bionic arms where the company's dead, so we just got to, too bad.
That's a Blade Runner shit.
Yeah, I know.
When everything's just so futuristic and the stuff that people rely on is just like a bunk product.
Yep. Wow. So, or people are just hacking it themselves and you just know some guy on the black market who can help you out and get the hacked parts and put it in your body.
Like you go to like those little phone repair kiosks in the shops at the shopping center, and they're just like, yeah, we repair arms for cheap.
But it's like in the movie, that's the fat alien guy who's like, and then you give him the shit, and he's got a mate that fixes you up, and it's full dodge. Anyway, it's like that movie Repo Men kind of, where he takes out a mortgage, puts a bionic heart in his body, and then he can't make the repayment, so they come and try and take the heart.
Yeah.
This is some scary shit.
That is so
dude,
freaky.
We're there. So we're happening.
There, dude.
Blade running shit is already happening.
I can't believe we're already there. That's so scary. I would tell everyone, don't buy shit if you have one piece of technology at home that doesn't work, don't buy something that your life depends on.
Yeah, but these people have their vision restored because of this amazing technology.
I don't know.
And they said it's working as long as something doesn't go wrong.
Yep. But there's we can't 100% guarantee
That's exactly
there's going to be support.
Right. But they were saying, "Oh, we're going to support you. Any problems, come back to us." And then they go bankrupt. Oh well.
I worked for a tech company for a short period of time, about a year, and I mean, I don't know if this is real or not, but I was pretty much told the reason things are they don't make them like they used to is because they can set capacitors to have a lifespan, so that you have to bring it into repairs, you have to bring it in for a replacement, you have to bring it in for a warranty. The market is now
made to be obsolete.
Made to break. Yeah. Made to get to a point where it's 2-3 years in, it's done its job. Something blows up in the thing, fuse breaks, capacitor overheats, and you have to replace it. And it's just to keep.
But if you knew what to replace, you could do it yourself. Was this high-end tech, like a phone?
No.
Okay.
This is your regular electronics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, cheap electronics are not like that. They used to be. People say, "Man, they didn't build cars like they used to." That's true.
That's true.
And but the cars were heaps simpler back in the day.
But no one had that in mind. I mean, since the dawn of industrialization, have been how do I market this product to mooch off the consumer? But
to be fair, I think in general though, I think good electronics and good quality stuff can still last a long time with good use and maintenance. It's just that depends on what it is. If it's cheap electronics like you're mentioning, but phones for sure can last 5 years now. Just the battery you got to replace, but other than that, it should all work good.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah?
Any bit of tech I own.
How old's your phone now? 3 years, right? Pixel 6 is out.
Yeah.
So 3 years. But
it's
you're saying
buggy,
it's buggy. Yeah, it's buggy. That's different, but it's still working.
But that to me is not working.
But if they didn't change the software, but you're getting new features, right? You're still getting new features on it. If it stayed exactly the same and they didn't change the software, you would have had the same experience as when you bought it.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I just want...
But you're not forced to get the updates.
I want whatever I buy to do its job until I choose to change it.
Yeah, I agree with the bugs are not good, but I would say my last phone was working perfect until I sold it. No issues, other than battery starts to degrade slightly, but it's okay.
Everything I own, that's tech. There's one thing that just...
Kaput.
It's livable. It works enough.
Yeah.
Not enough for you to return.
But I would say, look, it's heaps more complicated than a old car. Cars made
it's not mechanics. It's not mechanics.
Yeah, they build a car in the 60s. That shit will go forever because it barely had any electronics in it. It was just an engine.
Thick forged metal that just has one purpose.
And it was quality made.
Yeah. Handmade.
Yeah. So a lot of it was really insanely put together, but also heaps simple and not efficient. You're expecting massive efficiency cars driving themselves now, insane electronics like window cleaning sensors, automatic doors, automatic boot. Of course shit's going to go wrong. That's what I say. You're getting heaps more bang for your buck.
Do you like all those features in the new cars? Or do you
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. But I understand that they can go wrong. But I also say to think to myself, I've never really heard of people mentioning those type of things going wrong. I would say once in a blue moon, but I would say in general, I'd say cars are heaps more reliable than what they were maybe 20 years ago.
I'd definitely say more reliable. I was just thinking more...
Especially Toyota
more in terms of... do you like all the mods and cons that cars have these days? Like all the little things. All the little things that make your driving experience easy.
I do.
Yeah?
I do. I think it's going to be cool. I just don't like monopolization of it, and I don't like certain companies trying to control, you can't have this because you didn't pay extra, that extra fee that was not transferred to you. It's kind of like licensing subscription type stuff. I heard Toyota wanted to say for them to have the auto start feature from outside the car, you were going to have to pay a subscription on your key.
Wow.
Your key was going to need a subscription. And I thought, here we go. Give me the Flintstones car.
Give me the Flintstones car.
Yeah. I thought that was really shit. Lucky it didn't pick off. But remember microtransactions weren't a thing in games until someone did it, and then everyone got on board with it, and they say, hey, it works, so I'll just copy you.
That's just it. As soon as as a business owner, you see another business getting away with something, you go, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
That's exactly right. And it's about the first person making this step,
Yep.
Apple were the first ones to say, we're not going to include the charger in the phone anymore. And so then Samsung straight away were the first ones to make fun of it, and then the second ones to follow.
That person's selling hot chips for $10.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I'm selling them for $2. I'm doing $10 now.
Yeah, exactly. And so then they say, "Oh, we're doing it for the environment." Bullshit. You're doing it for your bottom dollar.
That's it.
You're lying, mate. Yeah,
Keep that shit away from
I can go on a rant forever on this shit.
Yeah. We're
We're
old men. We're old men.
Yeah, I feel like I am.
Oh, me too, for sure. Man, speaking of cars,
Yeah.
I stumbled across this, which is really, really cool.
Blow my mind, boy. I want to have it blown.
Check this out.
It's Brum. Let me see.
This is a car in 1918, fully electric.
What batteries did it run on? That's incredible.
I'm not...
That's like First World War shit. It looks like...
It's
wait,
incredible.
those batteries look new as
Those
hell.
are new. But look at this.
Okay.
There is some other cars. Look at this. 1918 Walker Electric.
Yeah.
No one knows why it was discontinued. I think this was a German car.
This would have been heaps inefficient back then with those lead acid batteries.
Yeah.
They were heavy
But
and
just
big.
to think that this was the direction at one stage. At 1918. Why did we change?
It would have been too expensive, too heavy, and too inefficient.
Too expensive. Look at this photo. Electric car in a private charging station. That person's not paying. That person's not paying electricity bills.
Yes, they are.
Dude, they probably got some look how
Burning oil in the backyard.
It would be so disconnected from a town.
Okay, but you have to think back then. Maybe power outlets and all that stuff went. They would have been 1918. Had power outlets.
Yeah, electricity's pumping.
Well, I don't know what the cost of electricity was, but you have to think the efficiency of charging those batteries. It might have taken 2 days to charge up. And so you're like, I'm flat. I got to wait 2 days.
Yeah.
I think, dude, I did a lot of research back in battery tech back at school. Mm-hmm. The lead acid chemistry was nuts. It was so bad. It was very inefficient. So it was huge, heavy, costed a lot to make. They didn't hold a charge very long. Not a lot of power output.
And someone was like, let's
these
burn
tiny
stuff.
batteries are zipping you around.
Yeah.
It's lithium ion versus.
But I was just like, I can't believe that it was
That's
that
very
long ago.
forward-thinking.
1918.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they were doing electric cars then. That is incredible. It's kind of sad to think that, where we would be if they carried on from electric forward cars at that stage.
Yeah.
Instead, someone was like, let's just make combustion. Hey, man, there's a lot of black stuff coming out the back of that car. Is that okay? Yeah, it'll be right. What's the worst that could happen?
No one had a care back then.
What's the worst that could happen?
The Industrial Revolution was just...
What's the worst that could happen? I'm going back to the mines. See you later.
Working back to the mines and get my 5-year-old son to help me.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you think that... What do you potentially think that was stopping those type of innovations back then? Do you think it was
money, man?
Do you think it was money?
Yep.
Being put we got to keep this going?
Yeah, because there's a lot of evidence out there for these big corporations back in the day to strong-arming politicians for keeping their process at top of the chain, right? You know, the whole oil and petrol industry.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about that stuff. And it wouldn't surprise me that...
grease a few palms back then.
To put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I understand that. That could be potentially...
They worked in the engine bay, had the oil on their hands.
Yeah. Okay, I got a story. I got some real shit for you. You just reminded me about a car as well.
Yeah?
Okay, this is cool. You'll like this. So, this is just totally off the top of my head. So, my partner's dad told me about the story. He had a guy he grew up with, was he lived in the same area as him. Mm-hmm. I'll find his name. Give me 1 second. So he grew up with him. He was like a kooky guy, always working in his garage on stuff.
Should we bring up his name? Is it? Are you
Yeah, we
risk?
can. No. This guy's dead now, and I'll tell you why, bro. The fucking Gestapo put the hit on him or some shit. It was crazy, man. Okay, got him. Cool.
They silenced
partner's dad, when he was young, knew this guy, and he himself, the partner's dad, was a very cool kind of very switched on with electronics and mechanical stuff, loved building his own cars, stuff like that.
Cool.
Met this guy, always see him tinkering and stuff. His house was just full of science experiments, full of crazy shit, right? This guy had a car, ran on water.
Yeah, there's a few people, especially in the 80s, I found there's a lot of these.
This was 70s, 80s, right?
A lot of people were doing this, and they just just
This is
stop.
what happened to him. So I'll tell you. So he went to the guy's house a couple times and he showed him the car. He's like, dude, this thing runs on water.
Amazing.
So the guy's name was Yull Brown, very famous professor of electrolysis of water. And he had a patent on something called Brown's gas. Dude, he had a welder where it could arc weld, metal like that. It was like the power of the sun in your hands. And when you pulled it out here, it was creating water. You ever heard of this? It's called Brown's gas. It's electrolysis. So here it would melt.
Create water.
Dude, if you held the welder to your hand, it would melt your hand in an instant. But about 30 centimeters away, it's creating water. And he would put it on a board and water would start dripping down the board. But if you put it next together, bro, melt brick.
Is it
melting brick? That's how hot it was.
Is it using hydrogen or something like that?
Yeah, hydrogen. It's called Brown's gas, he called it.
Okay.
So he was able to extract something with the water and separate it and bring it back together with some sort of patented technique, right? He made
That's
a car run on this shit. And the guy, when he went to his house, dude, her dad tells me, this shit was working. He's driving it around his backyard. He was there watching it. He goes, dude, you watch. He said, people are after me for this. No joke. He said, I've had some weird shit happen to me and some guys have been coming around the house asking questions. They want to buy my technology. He says, fuck no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Dude, a week later, the guy's house is shot up with a machine gun out the front. About a couple months later, gone. Guy disappears.
Oh, so he survived the drive-by.
He survived the shooting. He said, dude, he comes past his house. He goes, dude, they shot at my house. Shows him the bullet holes all over the house. And then a couple weeks later, gone. Never heard from him again.
And
gone. House cleaned out.
And his technology?
Never heard. Dude, the guy dead. I looked him up. The guy's dead.
Of course.
Yep.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And I've heard a few stories like this.
Yeah.
And the fact that these stories are so popular, the fact that, people know that you are able to run a car on water.
Yep.
Why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, man.
Also,
especially hydrogen. Hydrogen is much easier to use than water. But he was able to do it. He said he put water in it, and that's all he needed it to run. Crazy.
And just on the side, I like to picture that the sound of the exhaust is like the sound that a bubble machine makes. Yeah.
It's just, I love that too.
Yeah. I'd like to picture the exhaust fumes of bubbles. I like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Everyone's like bubbling down the streets. That'd be so funny.
You're helping the environment, and it's fun for the kids.
Yeah, or just
what do you want?
Bubble pandemic, and no one can escape the bubbles that's created.
Yeah. That reminds me of this movie I watched, dude. It's a deep cut. Not a lot of people know about it. I think it's called. I think it's called Envy. It's a Jack Black film, and Ben Stiller and Christopher Walken.
Oh wait, and he makes the poo disappear.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've seen that. I love that film.
That's such a good film, dude.
Vaporize.
Yeah, Vaporize, and that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Well, I love that film.
It's a good film.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller and Jack Black. Yeah, and he invents the thing, and he's an idiot. And
he gets so rich off it. He gets
so rich, and Ben Stiller's so pissed because he didn't invest in it. That's a funny film. I love that film. But yeah, dude, totally. And you know what though? It's those type of things where it gets too big, and there's already something in place that's already bigger. So heaps of the times for instance, it's not all the time. It's bad, but it's not all the time you're getting killed. A lot of the time they buy the patent to the product and go, well, we're going to just shelve it.
Yeah.
And they never do anything with it, but they buy it for a stupid amount.
Yeah.
And to a point where the person might be like, 100 million, I can't refuse that money.
So that when they're ready, they can manipulate the market to be in that new area because they got the patent for it.
Yeah. So,
Fat cat.
Yeah. I think it's totally possible, but whether or not it's always with the intention to kill someone, it's more that, hey, this is going to affect our profits, better to just buy the product now, like Google does, right? They just buy everything when they feel like it's going to be, whoop, it triggered my phone.
Oh, whoa. Always listening.
Yeah,
Singularity, it's happened.
Oh shit, I'm gone. My brains are being sucked out my butthole.
Do you think that Garfield,
yes,
if he was at the top of a big conglomeration, he would be offended?
Big Garfield?
If he was called a fat cat?
It's Big Garfield out to get me. Fat cats galore.
The fat cats are out there. Maybe he's the origin of fat cat. Just a greedy fuck.
Wow. Yeah?
He's everywhere, man.
Is fat cats that old? Where's that saying from?
Fat cat, you see?
Well, I feel like that's older than Garfield because Garfield was what, the 80s? I feel like Garfield was early 80s, right?
From what we established, dude, Garfield is...
He is everything.
The alpha and the omega.
Wow.
The beginning and the end.
Yeah. Speaking of cats, I got a story for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So did I ever tell you about when my granddad came to Australia for the first time?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. So he came to Australia and he came from Croatia. It's very kind of poor part of Croatia. Definitely not in the very, well-established area like Zagreb or anything like that. I think he was on the east coast of Croatia, I believe. A little bit north, maybe.
Is that the beach? The beach side?
It's all beach, baby.
It's just all beach, right?
No, there's only one side that's beach.
Right.
But I don't know how close it was to beaches and water, but pretty poor where they grew up. Anyway, he wanted to come to Australia for a better opportunity, heard good things about Australia, plenty of work, plenty of money. So he did it. He came. When he came to Australia, he went to Queensland. It was the first place he came on the boat, and they kind of, from the port, I think they selected a bunch of people to come work on a farm, and they just saw a bunch of guys, and he was a pretty solid guy at the time. And so they said, he went up to a lineup and they just said, you come with us. We're gonna need you for work. And then he went to work a farm in Queensland.
The trust.
Okay.
Wow, the trust,
Dude, it was rough back then. It was people like, well, okay, I got to do it.
I'll take it.
Yep. So he went to work on a sugarcane farm in Queensland. Ate dinner every night with the family, like they look after him. And he worked with the other bunch of Croatian guys at the time.
Oh, so he's like...
Most of them are Croatian.
He's living on the farm and working.
Yeah, living, working, bro. He didn't have anything here. There was no other family here.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
So he just had to go make it and thought, I'm going to get some money, then I'll buy a house and, put in the hard yards and whatever.
It's a fresh country.
Yeah, and if it's good, I'll come back and I'll let you guys know that it's good.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the farm time, there was like, because they have so many rats on farms and not a lot of pest control, it's very cheap. Very cheap place and it was an Italian family he was working for.
Cool.
So shitload of cats to keep the rats under control because that was just very common in farm life. I guess like you didn't have terrier dogs and you didn't like if you didn't have dogs or whatever, you had cats to look after them because they look after themselves and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
it's pest control. Yeah,
he worked hard on the sugarcane farms and all that. He said at the end of the first harvest, so you had to work 6 months before you even got paid.
Oh my God.
That's what's crazy. So
trust.
If you work 5 months and quit, they didn't pay you a cent. So you have to do the whole harvest, then you get paid for 6 months of work.
Here's a shilling.
Man, but they took advantage. But it was also like you're getting an opportunity, worked out well for him. End of the harvest. Every night sitting down, eating with the fam, they look after him, feed him, whatever. They all eat the same thing. End of the harvest, he goes, man, him and his mates noticed, man, all the cats are gone. What the hell? Like they must go away with the weather or whatever.
Oh, this is just all of a sudden?
Well, he noticed after time that, hey, where's all the cats? Mm-hmm. He asked one night, like, what, when they're eating dinner, he's like, what meat is this? The mother goes, it's cat.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Dude, they'd been eating cats for 6 months. He had no clue. He thought it was rabbit.
Oh my God, I would feel so sick, dude.
Yeah, he said he immediately did.
And dude, it's not like it's like grain-fed beef. It's
gamey as hell.
Rat-fed cat.
Rat-fed cat.
Oh.
So he went to the Croatia. Dude, all of his mates, when they found that out, they all felt sick.
That's it. Back to Croatia.
Some of them threw up and stuff.
I would have as well.
It was horrible. His friends, so he went to Croatian club after that and told him the story. Like they all did a meetup after the 6 months. Like the guys that went to other farms and the guys that did other work, they all got together and went to a Croatian club after. And he was very excited to tell all his friends, I've been learning English. I'm so good at English now. And he starts speaking it. And they're like, dude, that's not English. Pretty sure it's Italian.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so after that as well, he's like, I'm going to have a head start on Australia and learn my English. But no, he speaks Italian. Boy.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
He knows 3 languages and he's eating a lot of food.
6 months worth of cats.
Oh, that's terrible, man.
Right? Do you think he ate a couple of Garfields, baby?
He ate a couple of Garfields. Dude, that's scary because then you also know that farm wasn't doing well because they couldn't even support themselves with the meat
they were eating. And they would have been eating cats all year round, dude.
Is that safe to eat?
I have no idea.
Surely
I thought it was disgusting.
Especially if they're full of rat.
Oh, I'm sure they're digesting all the disease and shit.
Just put a bit of salt in there, it'll be all right.
You could, dude, I've seen on that show alone people eating mice. You can do it. You could eat a rat if you had to.
Yeah,
you can survive on rat meat.
But you can eat it, but do you survive after?
Yeah, you would. You could eat anything if you were starving to death.
That reminds me, man. I just remembered this the other day, and I can't believe I did this as a kid. But you know when you're in your early primary school, you're before primary school, and you know you're playing with your friends and you're pretending you're characters in a show that you would have watched, your Power Rangers or
DBZ.
DBZ, exactly. And DBZ was very popular when we were young in primary school. You know, everyone would rush to school and talk about the latest episode that came out that day.
Yep. I love that shit. Powering up for 3 episodes.
That's it, dude. It was all about the biggest hype. The biggest hype.
Yeah.
We would pretend we were playing Dragon Ball Z. We were pretending they were the characters. And, man, I remember there was this tree behind the demountable toilets at our primary school, and it had little green berries on there, and we would pretend that there was Senzu Beans. And we'd be like, defeated in battle, be like, give me a Senzu Bean.
Did you eat it?
We ate them, dude.
Do you know what they were?
No, I don't. And that's why I just realized the other day, I'm like,
you could have been poisoning yourself.
Exactly. What has that done to me? I have no idea. As a kid, I was just like, it doesn't taste like anything. I do remember what they look like, but I just realized this. I'm like, holy shit, man, I ate a lot of those little berries, and I don't know what they were. Just wild. Behind the school demountable toilets as well, dude.
Oh, dude, they might be growing. Maybe that's why they were yellow. They're growing off the pea juices.
No, they were green. They were like...
the green, still.
I know, dude.
Oh, dude.
What was I eating?
Dude, I just got to Google Australian Senzu bean looking tree.
Yeah.
And see what comes up.
It definitely did make me stronger.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. That is actually insane.
I wonder if I go back to the school and it's still there, the trees.
Do you think it was actually giving you a little bit of health every time you regenerated a bit?
Look, I'm still sound body of mind.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much mind, but there must have been something in there good enough that I can keep running.
Damn, that's funny as hell.
Hey, it made me power up my Kamehamehas. So
I hated when I was playing with make believe, and there was always one kid, and it's like, I'm gonna have the power to breathe fire. I'm gonna have the power to fly, and then one kid is like, I want the power to have all the powers.
Yeah,
and they're like, damn, dude, why do you gotta do it like that?
Or like just abusing their power so much that they're just overpowering everyone. You're like, dude, you
gotta
dial it back a little bit.
I'm not gonna play with you anymore. Yeah. I don't want to play this make believe game anymore.
I was definitely the kid where like you start playing tip. And then as soon as I'm in, I'm like, I don't want to play anymore.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, dude.
You need another Senzu bean. Give me the Senzu bean.
I'm out of energy. Senzu bean. It's at the back of the toilets. The back of the toilets.
Oh, that's gold. How big were they?
They were tiny, man. I would say.
Okay, maybe you'll be fine. Did it taste like clovery tasted? Like, like clovey?
Nah, just like grass would taste like just a wet green.
Yeah, like clove tasting. There's a berry you can eat sometimes that I Googled what these berries were when I was on my walk one time, and people said you can eat them, but they have a clove-like taste, and I ate them. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what grass tastes like, I guess.
I'm trying to picture, think of what, it's a very small size, whatever this was. It's like an eighth of a pea size.
Okay.
It's a small little berry.
Damn, dude. What if it was like some poisonous or something that gives you gastro or some ridiculous...
You're thinking of the fear part. Think of the Alan Watts side. What if it's made me better?
What if it powered you up to another level of existence that couldn't have been before?
What if it's cured me of all
this is
future
how
ailments?
the stoned ape theory came along, bro. People just eating whatever they could find and just getting powers.
I watched a little bit of a clip from a JRE podcast, and it was talking about how it's kind of like the stoned ape theory, how agriculture came about because of humans' want for alcohol, and
really,
and essentially when they understood how to ferment fruits and grains and stuff to get alcohol, that was just the main focus because that's what made you feel good.
I heard as well that another theory is that fermenting the liquid was a safer way of drinking it because water could have been very potentially dangerous because creek water or whatever, you had water source. So they said back in the 1800s, 1700s, dude, kids going to school had hard liquor in the morning. Beer.
The liquor at that time wasn't that high in alcohol percentage. You can't get that high unless it's distilled, and that didn't come until a lot later. So natural fermentation of alcohol, you can only reach a certain amount.
Okay.
So that's why you got to like...
No,
chug
it wasn't.
back.
It wasn't. When I'm saying hard liquor, I didn't mean it was like.
It would have been like a whiskey
beer.
or a rye or something like that.
Oh, I'm thinking like it was a beer.
Yeah, but it would have been super low alcohol percentage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but still, kids were having it
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
to school
I know.
in the morning. Breakfast beer.
Little bit. And the interesting thing he said was the heavy use of corn to get alcohol products, and the corn around this time that they found was like
Senzu bean powers.
yeah, dude. It was an early stage of corn where if you would have looked at it,
Didn't even look like corn.
it didn't look like corn. You definitely weren't going to be like, I can eat that. It just would not have had enough on it to be like, I'm going to grow more of this because I like to eat it.
And that's what they made the alcohol from.
But so like they found that in the remnants of like civilizations that had alcohol like vats.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no way humans would have just farmed this corn for food. They would have grown it just for alcohol.
Oh, you mean like it was impossible to sustain as nutrient wise?
Yeah, you wouldn't have eaten it.
okay.
So that just helps prove that point that the alcohol would have been the instigator for growing crops.
Very interesting. Wow. So it was almost like they learned the process of
If I can make more of this,
fermentation and farming and agriculture just because they thought, wow, beer is great.
yeah, and that could tie into the
So
stone
that
ape theory
taught
because
them.
imagine the stone apes just keep knowing that substance makes you feel good and makes you think more. So you just keep chasing substance until you get to a state, it's just
Enlightenment.
a state of just like, I think I'm gonna make a city.
Yeah, okay. That's amazing. Guys, I got this crazy idea. It's called cities. Everyone in their designated houses. It's amazing. And we got towns in those cities and suburbs in those, and then everyone's got a street. It's insane.
Pass me that beer and mushroom. I want to go along with you.
Let me
go along with you.
Let me get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool, man. Well, I think that wraps about it up today. What a crazy adventure today of topics.
Wow.
I need another sensu bean right now. Another pick me up so I can have.
But make sure it's a.
I gotta find your one.
Yeah, make sure you do the little drug test to make sure it's a approved one from the back of a demountable toilet.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Okay, guys, we'll enjoy your sensu beans later on today. Hopefully, you have one. And
thanks for
this has
tuning
been
in.
Double Dose, and we love you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.